Okay, who here does Zyn? Do we have any Zinners? I saw this pop up and I don't really know like exactly what it is, so I wanted to watch this with you guys. You guys are zinning? You're getting zinned up? Okay, I want to see. Hello.
These white pouches may be the future of the tobacco industry, but there's no tobacco inside.
The main ingredient inside Zyns is pure nicotine.
These are Zyn
Oh,
nicotine pouches. The oral nicotine product comes in these cans. You may have seen them for sale in convenience stores, gas stations, and even your local pharmacy. Or on social media, where they've birthed a devoted subculture.
How much is one pouch of the one bottle? How much is one? Is it $5, $10? How much does it cost? $3 online. And how long does that last you? If you buy one puck, is that one day? Is it 1 week or 2 weeks or what? Okay, two days. Okay, you're spending $3 every 2 days. Okay.
You may have seen them for sale
For a
in
puck.
convenience stores, gas stations, and even your local pharmacy.
Okay.
Or on social media, where they've birthed a devoted subculture.
Good morning, boys. Popping a little.
Over the
Poppin' a
past
zinny.
year, sales of Zyn have skyrocketed. In the fourth quarter of 2023, 116 million cans were sold in the U.S.,
That's
a
nuts.
78% increase over the same period a year earlier.
Zyn is definitely having a moment.
Pouch packed with problems.
But Zyn's remarkable success has provoked a backlash and
Okay.
thrust it into the culture war.
Many people
Okay, I'll tell you what. If Chuck Schumer is taking a stand against Zyn, it makes me like Zyn a little bit more. If he doesn't like it, I like it. Let's go.
Backlash and thrust it into the culture war.
Many
Then what?
people see it as a threat.
So, what can we learn about Zyn when we test it in a lab? And how transformative a product could Zyn be for the tobacco industry?
How? How much?
Today we're going to be finding out what's in Zyns.
Ben Katz
Goodness.
is an analytical chemist at UC Irvine, specializing in mass spectrometry. Outside of his university work, Katz has been testing nicotine pouch products
What's in the pouch? Spearmint edition.
and sharing the findings
No
on his
way.
TikTok channel, Mass Spec Everything.
Now we're going to test a chill, the wintergreen.
Today, Katz is testing 6 different Zyn flavors.
Oh. What's in there?
All right, so now we're going to be analyzing the samples on the mass spectrometer. A mass spectrometer is capable of weighing the exact mass of a molecule so that you can determine the composition of the chemical structure and identify what is in a sample.
I used to use one of these very machines back in my drug testing days, where we had to know exactly how much of a drug is in someone's urine. So I was plugging in urine. I'd say, "Hey, give me your piss, boy. Give me your piss, lady." And then I get the piss, and then I put the piss in the machine. Aha! You're smoking meth, and I know exactly how much. Okay, let's go.
Oh, it works. In the data analysis software, we see a series of peaks. There is a common peak that's in all of the samples, and it's the most abundant peak in all the samples. That is our nicotine peak.
That's the
Based on
nicotine.
these tests, nicotine is the bioactive molecule in Zyn. And the nicotine is the only tobacco-related alkaloid that we can see in this product.
Zyn looks like a little tea bag. It's a tiny little white pouch that tucks inside the cheek, and
Do you boof 'em?
inside there's no tobacco leaf. There is cellulose or wood pulp, along with some artificial
Hobbsy.
sweeteners and flavorings and nicotine.
In January, Senator Chuck Schumer called for a federal crackdown on the pouches.
I'm delivering a warning to parents because these nicotine pouches seem to lock their sights on young kids, teenagers, and even lower, and then use the social media to hook them.
This scrutiny has in turn triggered another chapter in America's culture war.
I have no idea, guys. How old do you need to be to buy a Zyn, a nicotine pouch? Is it 18 or 21, or something else? In the U.S., how old do you need to be? 18, 21, 21, 21, 18, 21. I don't know. Okay, let's go. Maybe it's state
with
by
some
state.
on the right declaring a Zinsurrection. Senator Tom Tillis responded on X with a message that said, Come and take it, Chuck.
So we're gonna make him a Zyn birthday cake.
Fueling Zyn's rise are
Nice.
self-styled Zynfluencers who feature the nicotine pouches in their social media content.
Upper decky gum, pillies, upper decky lip cushions.
Unlike cigarette brands, nicotine
That's
pouch
cringe.
brands are permitted to advertise on billboards and television. And unlike e-cigarettes such as Juul, they are sold in fruity flavors. There are lots of brands of pouches on the market,
Ooh.
including Rogue, Velo, and Lucy. But it's Zyn that has emerged as the Kleenex of nicotine pouches.
Zyn is sold by Swedish Match, a Swedish smokeless tobacco company.
In
Sweet.
2022, tobacco
They make
giant
me
Philip
so
Morris
mad.
International acquired Swedish Match in a $16 billion deal. Just last year, Philip Morris shipped 385 million Zyn cans in the US, and this year, the company forecasts shipment volumes of about 520 million cans. Zyn now represents 24% of the smokeless category, which includes traditional smokeless tobacco such as Copenhagen, Grizzly, and Skoal.
Cool.
Nicotine pouches are still in their early days in terms of their share of the overall tobacco market. They still would have a long way to go to really take a bite out of cigarettes.
Despite the brand's success, Zyn's unofficial brand ambassadors have created a
Osama
headache
Bin
for
Laden.
Zyn's owner, Philip Morris.
The most famous influencer is Tucker Carlson, the former Fox News host.
No
Zyn is not
way.
a sin.
He is sort of a self-appointed and unofficial Zyn brand spokesman.
In October, Tucker Carlson made unfounded claims that Zyn helps with focus and erectile dysfunction.
Zyn is a powerful work enhancer.
So listen, here's the deal. Nicotine actually does have like a boost to cognitive or mental function. Erectile dysfunction, I have no idea. But this is indisputable. You can Google this, okay? This is true. Nicotine actually does have positive beneficial impacts for your cognition. The problem is that nicotine is also really fucking addicting. And is it worth it? It's up to you.
And also a mail-in.
But it is true.
If you know what I mean.
Philip Morris has pushed back very hard on these claims and has actually sort of asked his team to cease and desist on that.
Philip Morris said it has reached out to social media influencers, asking them not to promote Zyn in any form where the audience includes people under 21. The company said its products are intended for adults who already use nicotine.
Senator Schumer's interest in Zyn, I think, is related to his long-standing interest in tobacco control.
Dude, it's like a hyper caffeine. Yeah, I think you're right.
However, the national data,
Giga
survey
caffeine.
data tells us that kids are not really using this product at significantly high levels, so there's not really evidence for any kind of epidemic.
A 2023 study from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that around 1.5% of middle school and high school students reported using nicotine pouches in the last 30 days. Some public health
1.5,
experts
okay.
say nicotine pouches like Zyn could save lives by helping adult cigarette smokers switch to a much safer alternative.
Would
That's
I
probably
consider, recommending Zyn to friends or family that smoked cigarettes? Yes, I would. We know that smoking is bad for you.
Anecdotally, I've heard from e-cigarette users who have switched over to Zyn. It's very hard to detect that someone
How do you say it? Snus? I think like no one in the US does that. I don't think anyone fucking does the snus or the snus. I don't think so.
has a nicotine pouch in their mouth. I've done interviews with folks who
Snus.
talk to me for half an hour, and I never noticed until at the end of the interview they would take the pouch out.
According to the FDA, nicotine is addictive, but by itself, it doesn't cause cancer or lung disease.
We don't really, 100% know what.
Like I would guess that in terms of like danger or harm, it's cigarettes, vaping, Zyn. Don't you think? That out of the three different ways to get nicotine into your body, if that's what you need to do or that's what you want to do, that Zyn is the safest probably.
What the long-term effects of nicotine use are. However, we do have some pretty good indications from evidence that comes from other parts of the world. So for example, the country of Sweden is famous for using a product called Swedish snus.
Snus is a moist, pasteurized, smokeless oral tobacco product, which is placed under the lip to deliver nicotine through the gums. It's been used by consumers in Sweden since the 1970s.
And this is a product that's in some ways similar to Zyn. It's actually the precursor to Zyn, and it's known to be much less toxic compared to other oral tobacco products.
Okay.
Since snus pouches were first introduced in Sweden in 1973, smoking rates have fallen considerably.
Sweden now has the lowest smoking rate of all of the European Union countries. They also now have the lowest rates of smoking-related cancer. So that tells me that people who use clean nicotine products...
Dude, it was so funny. Okay, we're in Germany about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago now, and we're inside this fucking restaurant, okay? And so like this is the door into the restaurant, and they have like some tables, and there's tables over here. And each of these tables, and like they had a smoking section and a non-smoking section in the German restaurant. And like it was an open restaurant, okay? This was the non-smoking section. This is the smoking section, and there's no wall or glass or window. So if you're here and someone is smoking there, it's like you still smell. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't fucking matter.
Are much less likely to develop serious diseases that we know are related to smoking.
So Schumer asked the FDA to investigate, and the FDA already has been conducting a review of Zyn because all nicotine pouch manufacturers were required to submit their products for FDA review in order to get authorization to keep them on the US market.
If the agency does authorize a nicotine pouch, the authorization might come with marketing and flavor restrictions.
So like I would guess that the tobacco industry, the cigarette industry, they've got a lot of clout. They've got a lot of money. They've got a lot of sway. I would bet that they are doing everything they can to try to shut down Zyn. Don't you think so? That they are exerting as much pressure or force as they possibly can.
You may have heard of Zyn lately. It's an increasingly popular nicotine pouch, and it has enthusiastic following. Zinfluencers are getting online to sing its praises all across TikTok and Instagram. You can see users popping these little white pouches between their gums and cheek. The pouch contains...
How many are you supposed to put in there at once? Is this guy getting Zinned out of his mind? I would guess to only do one at a time, right? Not fucking like 4. One? All of them. Okay, amazing.
The pouch does not contain tobacco, but it does contain nicotine, flavorings, and plant-based fibers. Users often talk about getting a rush from the effects. Senator Chuck Schumer had this to say about Zyn at a press conference a couple of weeks ago.
Pouch packed with problems, high levels of nicotine. So today I'm delivering a warning to parents because these nicotine pouches seem to lock their sights on young kids, teenagers, and even lower, and then use the social media to hook them.
With flavors like cinnamon, citrus, even coffee, no surprise that the nicotine pouch market has exploded into a multi-billion-dollar industry, but the negative effects on health are growing even faster. Dr. Kumar is on call to break it all down for us. Good morning to you. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Hey there.
What do you think in regard to safety? Is it safe? Are they safer than cigarettes? I mean, what's your thought on this?
Well, we really don't know. And I mean, they are gaining a lot of popularity, first because they're marketed as being safe, but we really have no long-term data. These products are also marketed as being products that can help you quit smoking. Again, we have no data to substantiate that as well. And finally, probably what's most...
Do we need data to know whether or not a nicotine pouch like this can help you quit smoking? If the addictive component of smoking cigarettes is nicotine, if that's why people smoke, and this is a tobacco smokeless alternative that people can get nicotine from, right? Do we need a okay, whatever.
Most concerned.
Dude, there's some people, you can say something like, yeah, hey, water's wet. And they'll say, do you have a peer-reviewed study indicating that? Like, it's one of those.
Is we are hooking a whole new generation of young people onto nicotine. The marketing strategies, the packaging looks like candy, flavors like cinnamon and mint, and even names like Smooth or Chill. I mean, really, who are these products appealing to?
Now, we do know they contain nicotine. What are some of the health concerns when it comes to that?
Well, nicotine has cardiovascular effects. It increases your heart rate, increases your blood pressure. It has effects on your GI system, nausea, vomiting, periodontal and gum disease. Young people, if you're using these products, just Google nicotine pouches and dental disease. You'll spit it out right away. Addiction is at the top of the list, and young brains are particularly vulnerable to that. And then finally, nicotine interacts with your cells to make you glucose and insulin intolerant. So it can increase your risk of diabetes in the long run.
You mentioned young people's brains. What are the effects on mental health? You say there are a few that we should be looking out for.
Well, so nicotine produces an immediate sense of relaxation, but it's short-lived. And when it wears off, there's a spike in edginess, in anxiety, even stressful types of feelings. And so it creates this vicious cycle, because then you have cravings that want you to get that, relaxation feeling again. But in the
Okay, so that's like kind of like everything.